Well, my friends, we're finally back and we're all together. What a great day. And I must tell you, even though we're spread out, even though we're wearing these masks still, this day and this moment feel very, very good. And Rosemary and I are back to start our 26th academic year. And we could not be more grateful or more excited about what lies ahead. First, a word about Rosemary, because that's what everyone first asks. 6 months ago, as you all know, physicians at VCU and Mayo Clinic determined that Rosemary was being attacked by a very rare autoimmune disease, immune-mediated necrotizing myopathy. This disease was weakening and destroying her muscles and making it more and more difficult for her to walk, move, and even talk. I must confess, it was the first time in my life that I'd ever been able to keep up with Rosemary Trible. You know how deeply I love this place, but I love Rosemary even more. And I needed to be with her during this past 6 months. And we will always cherish that time together and be grateful for that opportunity. Rosemary's amazing healthcare providers have created big shots of antibodies drawn from over 1,000 donors that she receives each month. Each infusion lasts 5 hours. A port has been placed in her chest because the veins in her arms could not take the stress of repeated needle sticks. Happily, this course of treatment has worked. The autoimmune disorder is now quiescent. So Rosemary is working to rebuild her muscles and is gaining strength and speed and working on endurance. Now, my bride has made great progress, but she's not yet at full speed, and she lives with a great deal of pain. She never complains, and as you know, she possesses a joyful spirit and a loving heart. But I'll need your help. I'll need your help in reining Rosemary in so that she can recover and that we can together find a way to ease her pain. Rosemary Trible, will you stand? Yes. I want you to know how much this Christopher Newport family has meant to Rosemary and to me. We've received hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of personal messages, expressions of good wishes and prayers, cards, letters, emails, text messages, flowers. You've touched our hearts and inspired us during some very difficult times. Now, as most of you know, Rosemary and I always host the freshman class at the President's House in the first weeks of the academic year. It's a wonderful way for students and faculty and staff to begin getting acquainted and for us to begin building community. This fall, the receptions will be postponed until October. Hopefully, we can get beyond this Delta variant, and we'll host receptions for last year's freshman class in the spring. This will also give Rosemary some more time to regain her strength. As many of you know, as the students arrive each year, I greet them on the front steps of the President's House. They then enter the President's House and meet Rosemary, whose mighty spirit always overflows with enthusiasm and affection. And for 26 years, near Rosemary's side has stood the third member of our welcoming family, our dog. At first, it was a Sheltie named Governor. Then for years, it was a series of beautiful golden retrievers, Molly 1, Molly 2, and then Bella. Now the first dog is an inky black lab with loving, soulful eyes. Her name is Zoe, and I want you to see her picture. As we begin this new academic year, there's good news about successes and accolades of all kinds, even in these difficult times. Over the past year, when so many schools told their students to stay away, and so many other schools said, we're going to teach you, but we're going to teach you at long range, we said, come home. That required all of us to work very hard to bring our students back, to keep people safe, to instruct our students in person. In-person instruction and the on-campus experience is who we are. It's what makes this place distinctive and precious. At Christopher Newport, we have gifted professors who instruct and inspire our students face-to-face in small classes. I'm so grateful to our faculty. Over 70% of our classes this year were taught in person. No other public college or university in Virginia approaches that number. Thank you. Thank you. Also, as all of us know, lessons about leadership, honor and service, respect and tolerance for others, inform and inspire lives of significance. And those lessons are best learned in community. So my profound thanks to all of you for your remarkable efforts over this past year. We have done so much. We brought our students back to campus. We staggered the residence hall move-ins. We required daily symptom screening. We increased cleaning and sanitizing of areas across the campus. We canceled athletic events. We closed our campus to the public. We isolated and quarantined our students. We assisted the Virginia Health Department in tracing contacts. We launched a dashboard on our website. We organized a clinic to provide vaccines to thousands. All that and so much more. And we made it through the academic year in community, in good health, engaging our students face-to-face, and holding festive graduation ceremonies for the classes of 2020 and 2021. In fact, you reinvented commencement and created very personal, emotional experiences for our graduates and their families, much of which we plan to carry forward in the future. Thank you. Thank you. Now, I will speak in more detail about the past year in a moment, but let me say this. I could not have been away with Rosemary if it had not been for each of you, and for the leadership team that we've built in this university over the years. You care passionately about this remarkable place, our vision, our values, our mission, our future, and the people who bring it all to life. Let me express my profound thanks to Adelia Thompson. Adelia's passionate, yes. Turn, come on. As we all know, Adelia is passionate about people and pursues excellence in all things. She works from the crack of dawn to late at night to make good things happen. She has led Christopher Newport with joy, kindness, and remarkable success. And I thank you, and we thank you, Adelia Thompson. And to the indispensable Beverly Muller, who has been an all-important part of Rosemary and Paul Trible's life for nearly 30 years, and who has been with us every step of the way at Christopher Newport. And without her presence, guidance, judgment, and participation, little would have been accomplished on this campus. Thank you, Beverly. You are absolutely the best. And my thanks also to our distinguished provost, Dave Dowdy. Jennifer Latour, our Vice President of Finance, Planning, and Chief Financial Officer. Lisa Duncan Rains, Vice President for Enrollment and Student Services. Kevin Hughes, our Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students. Vice President Keith Roots, who leads our university advancement. Christine Ledford, Vice President for Administration and Auxiliary Services. And our able Vice Provosts, Doctors Robert Colvin and Jeffrey Klein, and our wonderful deans. Yes. And our wonderful deans, able, effective, caring, Doctors Nicole Guajardo, Quentin Kidd, Lori Underwood, and George Ebbs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To the teams of frontline workers who came to our campus and cared for us during the darkest days of COVID. Housekeepers, ground staff, dining services, plant operations. You couldn't stay home. Yes. As evidenced by the applause and recognition of your colleagues, you're our heroes. You could not stay home. You navigated child care challenges. You took transportation risk. And your jobs were critical to protect every one of us. I want you to stand so we can see you. Everyone, ground staff, housekeepers, dining services, plant operations. Come on. And to our campus police, our law enforcement and communications officers, you have been here as well, every day, every night, keeping us safe, and we are most grateful. And to our amazing colleagues who left their regular positions to become one of the 30-plus members of the tracing and case management team, helping us monitor, support, and counsel every one of our students and colleagues who contracted the virus or were exposed to it. And then how to figure out what came next at a very scary time. Under the leadership of Tammy Summer, Lisa Powell, Jackie Rockmore, Katie Wellbrock, you all became a lifeline. And I know you were also supported by the marvelous team in HR and so many others across this campus. Would you all please stand as well? Across the campus, directors, managers, coordinators, assistants, staff, and faculty found amazingly new and creative ways for us to keep on doing our work. You came up with new processes to help our students receive the counseling and tutoring they needed. You found new ways to reinvent dining and student activities. You helped find new sources of financial assistance for our students. Student Affairs has stepped up in incredible ways to care for our students and their needs outside of the classroom at a time when their need for support and insurance has never been greater. You created community when the world was trying to pull us apart, and I'm so grateful to all of you. So many of you had to figure out the world of remote operation. How do I work from the kitchen table with a 6-year-old in the next room, my mother needing help, and my staff needing vision and direction, and needing it now? And you did it. And what about our remarkable IT team? They facilitated virtual instruction so that every professor could address the needs of our students in quarantine or isolation. And you supported hundreds of our colleagues in working from home when they could not be on campus. Thank you. And videos kept us alive. And to Kyle Cummings, our incredible videographer, and to his small, brave band of student interns, thank you for endless hours of filming and editing that allowed us to communicate with each other, communicate with our students, to their families, to our alumni and our supporters. And also thanks to Jim Hanship and the whole team in the Office of Communications and Public Relations for your extraordinary work in keeping websites updated, pushing out messages, keeping up with the required changes to campus plans, and working to be sure that we communicated with the outside world and communicated well when the world could not come to us. And then thanks again to our faculty. You triumphed over all obstacles and managed to connect with our students in ways that no other faculty in the Commonwealth of Virginia can claim. Well done. Well done. And as we all know, and as you signified with a spontaneous applause, the vaccine clinic held on our campus was an extraordinary success. More than 25,000 people received the COVID vaccine here. That included more than 90% of our faculty and staff and almost 2,000 of our students. Many members of this university community participated in making all that happen. But we must all be profoundly grateful to Tammy Summer, who directs emergency management, and Amy Dale, our executive director of university events, for their tireless efforts and leadership. Tammy and Amy, supported by Sarah Eisenhower and Kylie Rossum, created, facilitated, and implemented this clinic with remarkable precision, just as they do every event, large and small, on this university campus. In fact, Tammy and Amy were so successful that the city of Newport News engaged them to plan the next 2 clinics that were established after ours closed. Let's give them another round of applause. Finally, my special thanks to the members of our COVID strike force for their incredible dedication and time commitment, hours and hours, day after day. Especially Dr. Jana Adamitis, who is the faculty representative Jana, as the faculty representative, spent countless hours in addition to her teaching responsibilities, and we're grateful for her presence and her wise counsel. The COVID strike members include Jana, Jennifer Latour, Lisa Duncan Rains, Christine Ledford, Amy Dale, Dave Dowdy, Kevin Hughes, Jim Hanchett, Adelia Thompson, and Tammy Summer. And there were many other implementers of the plan as well. And the strike force was guided by the good advice of our university counsel, Maureen Matson. So thank you all. Now today, as we gather once again as a university community, as we say thank you to all the members of this remarkable academic family, we want to recognize two extraordinary colleagues who together committed over 70 years of their lives to making Christopher Newport a precious place: Cindy Perry and Bill Brower. Cindy, will you please come forward? Here. You got it? All right, girl. Come on over here with me. The Board of Visitors and I felt very important to etch Bill and Cindy's names in the life of Christopher Newport forever. So the beautiful rotunda on the 4th floor of Christopher Newport Hall is named the Cynthia R. Perry Rotunda. In recognition, yes. In recognition of Cindy's distinguished and celebrated career, serving Christopher Newport for 42 years as Director of Planning and Budget, Chief of Staff, and Counselor to the President. Cindy's wisdom, splendid judgment, knowledge of colleagues and programs across this campus, budgetary expertise, and her love of this place empowered everything that we've accomplished at Christopher Newport. And so today, surrounded by treasured friends and colleagues, on behalf of the Christopher Newport University Board of Visitors, we grant to Cindy Perry an honorary Doctor of Laws degree from her beloved Christopher Newport University. Now this goes over your shoulder, I'm told. Love you. Hey. Come on. I'll walk off. Come on, I'll give it to you. Okay. And William, Bill Brower, come join me on stage, please. The lovely courtyard at the heart of Christopher Newport Hall is named the William L. Brower Courtyard in recognition of Bill's extraordinary career and service to this university for nearly 30 years as Executive Vice President, Chief Financial Officer, and Counselor to the President. Bill's expert management of the finances of the university in good times and challenging times, and his leadership in envisioning and constructing over $1 billion of university facilities has transformed this university, has transformed this community, and created one of America's most beautiful campuses. So today, in recognition of his leadership and extraordinary service and many contributions, on behalf of the Christopher Newport University Board of Visitors, it is my great pleasure and honor to award William Brower our dear friend Bill an honorary Doctor of Laws degree from his beloved alma mater. My friend.
Thank you, sir.
Here, we'll hold this up. You're a good man.
Thank you.
Cindy and Bill, we thank you. You both have sacrificially served and led this institution and inspired all that we've accomplished together. You see, it's our people, the Cindy Perrys and the Bill Browers, and each of you and all of us together that make Christopher Newport an irresistible force. So even in these difficult times, we have much to celebrate. Our freshman class that's joined us this week numbers 1,025 students, and the academic quality of those students remains impressive, with an average high school GPA of 3.8 and an SAT average of 12.13. 26% of our freshmen are students of color, the highest percentage in well over a decade. Our students come from 19 states and 3 foreign countries. 118 of our freshmen are legacies, including 65 brothers and sisters. Nearly 400 of the freshmen will participate in the President's Leadership Program, and they've earned a 4.0 average GPA and an average SAT score of 1301. 106 freshmen will participate in the Honors Program, and 87 of those will participate in both honors and PLP. And those students on average earned a high school GPA of 4.32 and an SAT of 1394. My thanks to Dean Rob Lang, to our hardworking, amazing admissions team, to Dr. Lisa Duncan Rains, Juliana Waite, our Assistant Vice President for Enrollment Services and University Registrar, and our Director of Financial Aid, Keely Haynes, and all their able colleagues, and all the members of the faculty and staff who so generously contributed your time and your talents and your energy and your enthusiasm, supporting a remotely recruitment process, which included, listen to this, 350 college fairs and high school visits and 49 virtual events. We even pulled off 2 successful in-person events in Northern Virginia at a drive-in theater, which included faculty, staff, students, and alumni. When our students arrive, they continue to be successful. Our freshman to sophomore retention rate is 86%, one of the highest in America among public colleges and universities. Our 4-year graduation rate has dipped 3 percentage points as some students withdrew and others took lighter loads because of the unknowns posed by COVID-19 and online instruction. But our 4-year graduation rate is 66%, still an incredibly high number among public colleges and universities. And happily, our projected 5-year graduation rate will be 75%. Also, every year, Lisa Duncan Rains and our staff conduct a postgraduate survey. 93% of the class of 2020 reported full-time enrollment in graduate school or full-time employment. That number is substantially higher than our peer schools, which reflects well on everyone on this campus and, of course, underscores the quality of our graduates. There's more good news. Throughout fiscal year 2021, difficult and challenging times, we remain financially strong, thanks to consistent enrollments, holding the line on hiring and expenses, the successful mitigation of the virus on campus, and to federal and state emergency financial assistance. Unlike so many schools, we were not forced to take the painful steps of cutting programs or personnel. We kept our people employed. Once again, we were able to freeze tuition and all fees, mindful that families are struggling. At Christopher Newport, our tuition has remained the same, frozen for 4 years in a row. That's extraordinary. We also did well in Richmond. The General Assembly authorized up to a 5% salary increase for faculty and staff. And we found a way to provide a full 5% to every employee on this campus. Moreover, Christopher Newport was granted $11 million to undertake a number of important repair and replacement projects. These are not flashy projects, but they're all important to our well-being. It's also important to underscore the financial position of our university, the strong financial position of Christopher Newport. Our combined operating and capital budgets now exceed $250 million. Bill and Cindy will remember that our first year together, we were at $37 million. Today, we're at $250 million. Our operating budget alone is $178 million, and those monies are equally divided between our academic programs and auxiliary enterprises. Our endowment funds have increased to over $60 million in total investments, and the value of our Christopher Newport Real Estate Foundation now exceeds $200 million. And the Real Estate Foundation provides over $1 million in scholarships for our students every year. Every year. I want to express my gratitude for the leadership and good work of Doug Hornsby and Spencer McDonald and Lamont Williams and their colleagues that oversee the important work of our foundations. Now, my friends, let's talk about academic affairs, the heart and soul of this place. This summer, Dean George Ebbs announced his retirement and recommended the appointment of Alan Witt as his successor. I'm grateful to George for his leadership over the past 6 years. Let me point to just 3 of his major accomplishments. George artfully oversaw our preparation for AACSB reaccreditation, and we passed with flying colors. Our students continued to perform at the very highest levels, as evidenced by the results of the business major field test. This year, for example, 532 schools participated in that test. 140,000 students took the test. At Christopher Newport, we require every graduating senior to take the test. We don't cherry pick the best, as some schools do. Everyone takes the test. Once more, we scored in the upper 90th national percentile. This year's result was the 96th percentile, the top 4% in the nation. A wonderful reflection of the quality of our students and the effectiveness of our business school. Finally, yes. Finally and importantly, George led our efforts to successfully establish the Master in Financial Analysis program and a successful start with 18 full-time students, all of whom graduated in May. George will serve as Luter's executive in residence in this fall semester, and he'll help prepare us for changes in the CPA exam and our next AACSB accreditation visit. I would ask George to stand so we can say thank you with a rousing round of applause. Our new Luder Dean, Alan Witt, is one of us. Alan and his wife, Debbie, are Christopher Newport alumni. Alan has served on our Board of Visitors and led the board as rector. Alan and Debbie led the fundraising for the Marcus Cooper Trading Room. And their son, Alan, and daughter-in-law, Happy, are also Christopher Newport alumni. Moreover, and importantly, Alan is a known and respected business and community leader throughout Virginia and beyond. He built from scratch one of the top 100 accounting firms in America, PB Mayers. He served on the Newport News City Council. He led the board of Riverside Health System for well over a decade and now serves as the chair of the Virginia Chamber of Commerce. Alan Witt, we welcome you as the new dean of the Luder School. In the College of Social Sciences, the Wassum Center has received additional funding and a new name, the Wassum Center for Civic Leadership. In addition to its well-known expertise in public policy and polling, the Wassum Center will now emphasize leadership education on our campus and around the Commonwealth. As part of its new mission, the Wassum Center will welcome to campus our first cohort of distinguished Virginians over the course of this year. Virginia Supreme Court Justice Bill Mims, State Senator Jennifer McClellan, former mayor and now treasurer of Hampton, Molly Ward, and former U.S. Representative Barbara Comstock. This fall, we also welcome our first Wassum Scholars. These Wassum Leadership Scholars, 9 high-ability first-year PLP students, are committed to the study of leadership as a second major. They will work in our survey labs and fully participate in the new and enhanced programming of the Wassum Center. In the College of Natural and Behavioral Sciences, there's so much to applaud. I applaud our success in meeting the requirements of the Tech Talent Investment Program. Christopher Newport, as many of you know, committed to producing 400 more graduates in computer science, computer engineering, and cybersecurity over the next 20 years. And in return, received from the state a commitment of $15 million to enhance our facility, our faculty, and enrich our programs. Every year, we must meet exacting performance goals. And this past year, we blew by those goals. And the number of freshmen interested in these 3 majors continues to increase as well. Well done. Well done. Another CNBS success deserves to be mentioned. This year, we have 36. Let me repeat that number. 36 Christopher Newport alumni matriculating in medical schools across this country. Those schools include Yale, the University of Virginia, VCU, the University of Illinois, VCOM, and EVMS. You know, it wasn't too long ago that we were sending 1 or 2 graduates each year to medical school. So my congratulations to our faculty and to our pre-med and pre-health advisors, Dr. Gwynn Brown, Dr. Catherine Cole, and Tiffany Carney. Well done. And in the College of Arts and Humanities, the big news is the Department of Fine Art and Art History has moved into this extraordinary Mary M. Togler Fine Arts Center. I want to publicly thank Dr. Michelle Earhart for her leadership in helping to create the vision and the programming for this center, and Rosemary Trible for working with our architects day after day to inspire a thing of beauty. And speaking of the arts, I also want to make special mention of the great work done by our music and theater faculty. All of our faculty worked heroically during this pandemic, but our music and theater faculty labored under incredibly tight constraints. And yet we're still able to coach and mentor our students as they prepared and delivered the same number of quality musical and theatrical performances. An extraordinary performance. Well done. I'm pleased that research has continued to flourish on this campus. 60 students participated in our Summer Scholars Program, and our faculty landed $2.6 million in grants this past year, our second highest number in over a decade at the height of a global pandemic. Congratulations. Moreover, we're anticipating a robust rebound in study abroad. Before the pandemic shut things down, the percentage of our undergraduates studying abroad had risen to 36%. Happily, I understand that we now have 19 student study abroad trips on the books for next year. And I applaud and thank our faculty for leading these valuable learning experiences for our students. Finally, a word about service. In this last year, the year of COVID-19, our students contributed over 58,000 hours of service. Now, while that was down from our usual number of 100,000 hours or more, it's amazing to think that with all the restrictions that they were able to contribute so generously of their time and their talents. I want to thank Vanessa Buellman and Jessica Deal for their able direction of our Center for Community Engagement and for their massive contributions to all that good work. Yesterday, I met with new faculty, and I underscored that Christopher Newport is different than so many other schools because we care about minds and hearts. We want to enrich minds, but we also want to stir hearts. We want our students to choose to live meaningful, consequential lives, lives of purpose. And of course, we have a name for that. It's called the life of significance. The life of significance has influenced every decision that we've made over 2 decades. It's the reason that our academic life rests on the liberal arts and sciences. It's the reason we have a rigorous core of classes required of all of our students. It's the reason why we emphasize the study and practice of leadership. Because we care about lives of significance, we expect our students to perform hundreds of hours of community service. We built a chapel, and we cherish our speaking tradition and our honor code. This community is grounded in leadership, honor, and service. And there's no greater example of this than the marriage of our leadership minor, our recently established second major in leadership studies, and the President's Leadership Program. PLP attracts high-ability students to this campus who lead and serve and who contribute immensely to creating and sustaining a culture of kindness. This year, over half of all of our PLP students will earn service distinction by graduation. And this past year, two teams of our students from Christopher Newport participated in the finals of the prestigious International Leadership Association's Student Case Study Competition. And for the second time in 3 years, our PLP students took home top honors, winning the competition and besting teams from across this nation. Every year, the President's Leadership Program also brings to campus an amazing array of speakers, women and men who share their life's experiences and their lessons learned, what it means to them to lead a meaningful, consequential life, that life of significance. This year, we'll welcome former U.S. Senator Bill Nelson, who now serves as the administrator of NASA, who will talk about the future of the space program. We will welcome Virginia Senator Mamie Locke. We will welcome New York Times columnist and NPR commentator David Brooks. And we will welcome back Senators Tim Kaine and Mark Warner. It will be a busy year. So let's talk some more about arts at Christopher Newport. In March of 2020, like every other performance venue around the globe, the Ferguson Center went dark. This year, Bruce Bronstein, our able executive director of the Ferg, and his team have assembled a season of artists that will rival any venue in America. Let me share some names. We'll debut performances by rocker Melissa Etheridge, jazz guitar virtuoso Pat Metheny, illusionist Chris Angel, a wonderful array of Broadway plays, including Waitress, Beautiful, the 25th anniversary tour of Rent, and Broadway classics Fiddler on the Roof and South Pacific. And at Christmas, Mannheim Steamroller, Dave Koz and Friends, Cirque Holidays, and Chris Tomlin. And to kick off our new season, a performance by one of the most popular recording artists in the world. On September 29th, we'll welcome multi-platinum recording artist Josh Groban for a very special performance at the Ferguson Center. And this will be in advance of his 3-night engagement at New York's famed Radio City Music Hall. For those of you that might be interested, I'm told there are just a handful of tickets remaining. And to welcome all of us back to the Ferguson Center, to recognize and thank each of you for all that's been accomplished. And in celebration of our 60th anniversary, all staff and faculty will receive a $100 credit to purchase tickets to any Ferguson Center presentation during this school year. In the coming days, you'll receive an email with the details of how to access that credit and purchase tickets. And I think it might be appropriate at this time to say thank you to the man who leads so brilliantly the Ferguson Center and who also said, let's do this. Would you please acknowledge our friend, Bruce Bronstein? Where are you, Bruce? And let's talk about the visual arts. The Mary M. Togler Fine Arts Center. It's here. It's been created. It's filled with faculty and students. We celebrated a soft opening in April for our campus community and special friends. The very first art to be hung in that magnificent building was the work of our students, the Senior Art Show in April and May. And this summer, almost 400 children raced through the doors of the Togler Center for 6 weeks of summer camp. This fall, we'll host a glorious grand celebration and opening. We had hoped to swing wide the doors in September, but to sidestep the Delta variant, we've chosen homecoming weekend in the afternoon of Sunday, October 31st. We hope you'll be with us on that festive occasion. Holly Coons, the executive director of the Togler, joined us in October. She's been a welcome, marvelous addition to this Christopher Newport family. And Holly has curated a spectacular collection for the opening, unlike anything ever seen in Virginia. Period, exclamation point. Holly, where are you? Stand up. Just so how are you doing? You still with me? Let's talk about athletics for a moment. At Christopher Newport, as you know, we have 24 intercollegiate teams, over 600 student athletes. And these young men and women perform with great success in the classroom and in athletic competition. Last fall, all of our intercollegiate competitions were canceled. The spring semester fortunately saw a return to practice, games, meets, and tournaments, and our students were able to succeed gloriously. In fact, this past spring, Captains competed in every sport that we offer, as fall sports were moved to the spring so they could play abbreviated seasons. Men's lacrosse established a new standard of excellence and advanced to a first NCAA Final Four. Men's golf at the NCAA Championships competed with great success, ended the season with a top 10 finish. And Rob Kinder, a sophomore from New Kent, finished as the national runner-up. Women's tennis also celebrated our first ever All-American, Reagan Delp. I applaud Athletic Director Kyle McMullen, Associate Director Carrie Gardner, our coaches, our athletic trainer Rob Kern, Dr. Vince Joseph, our dear friend, and all of our physicians and all of our athletic trainers for all that's been accomplished. The year ahead, fortunately, looks a bit different. We're in the final stages of renovating Radcliffe Hall, home to most of our student athletes and coaches. The track at Town Bank Stadium is undergoing a comprehensive renewal so we can provide a championship caliber experience for hundreds of intercollegiate and high school athletes that visit our campus each year. Our fall sports begin on September 1st, and I hope you'll join us on September 4th, outdoors, of course, when we host my alma mater, Washington Lee, for our first football game of the year. And come and experience, once again, the music and the moves of our incredible marching band, the energy and the enthusiasm of our fearless cheerleaders, and our dynamic dance team, the Storm. During this difficult year past, our alumni and friends remained generous throughout the year. The advancement team, now led by Vice President Keith Roots, raised $5.2 million, far surpassing our goal of $4 million. 15% of our alumni made gifts. Now, scholarships remain our greatest need. We were able to raise $2.8 million over the last year in scholarship support, with 10 new annual scholarships and 4 new endowed scholarships. We celebrated our 7th CNU Day in April and had our second consecutive $1 million day. A record 3,100 alumni made donations from all 50 states, Puerto Rico, and Australia. And once again, heroically, generously, each of us gave. Over 90% of our colleagues participated in the annual faculty staff campaign. Thank you. Thank you so much. Community captains received over $600,000 in new support. We raised over $300,000 last year for athletics, with a goal to raise $1.2 million by next June 30th. And fundraising for the new Togler Center had a strong year, raising almost $500,000. And importantly, Dr. Angela Springer, our Chief Diversity and Equity Inclusion Officer, has been busy in her first year, working with colleagues across this campus to ensure that inclusive excellence is the goal embraced by all of us, to make sure that we all know what that means and what it means for us in the work that we do together. Angela, as many of you know, has been a part of the academic community here for 8 years, but she took a leap of faith last summer and stepped into this new role. I'm grateful for her willingness to serve and lead in important ways. And because of her leadership and hard work, much has been accomplished. We have new programs to recruit, retain, and engage students, faculty, and staff. We have new partnerships with area corporations that led to amazing new partnerships, internships, scholarships, and job opportunities for our students. A series of 4 ramp-up video messages to help prepare us for a new education program beginning this fall through LinkedIn Learning. Numerous book groups, conversation sessions, DEI dialogues, and focus groups have taken place. And we've made real progress in the implementation of our DEI strategic plan, thanks to the good work of Angela and the President's Council on Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, a marvelous array of leaders drawn from the Board of Visitors, students, faculty, staff in our community. Angela, I'm most grateful to you. I also want to celebrate the good work of Curtis Davidson and Bob Colvin, and Angela and Brandon Jones in assuring the early success of our Community Captains program. Community Captains is a powerful new opportunity for high school students in the Newport News Public Schools. It offers a guided pathway through the college prep and application process. Guaranteed admission to Christopher Newport if students remain actively engaged in the program, maintain a strong GPA, and are either first-generation college students or facing substantial financial need. We hope to accomplish three things. We wanted to offer personal assistance to promising students in Newport News who dream of college, but who need some extra encouragement and help. We wanted to bring more students from our community, from Newport News, to this beautiful campus as students. And we wanted to keep more of these remarkable young people here in this community, so their intelligence, honor, determination, light, their dreams could fuel Hampton Roads' life and success for years to come, for years to come. A new cohort of students will be recruited each year. Throughout their junior and senior years, they come to campus for an array of enrichment events and programs. They meet regularly with Christopher Newport students who serve as mentors, and they receive help at every turn in navigating the college preparatory and admission process. I'm pleased to tell you today that the first cohort of community captains graduated from high school in June, and 19 of those remarkable young people are here with us this week as members of our freshman class. And now, as I sprint toward the conclusion of these remarks, let's look to the future and talk about our goals, our hopes, and our aspirations for the next academic year. First, let me say this. Our honor code, our speaking tradition, our shared commitment to instruct and inspire our students to lead meaningful, consequential lives makes this place distinctive and precious. It makes us a light in an increasingly dark world. This pandemic has challenged all of us in so many ways. It's made us more disconnected. It's made it more difficult for people to communicate and connect. We must make a conscious and concerted effort to connect with each other and with our students. We're going to have to work harder to pass on our values. We'll have to work harder to speak through our mask, to project our voices louder and greet people with our eyes and a head nod because they can't see our smiles. Offering a wave or an elbow bump, hello, or opening the door and conveying the friendliness, the community of this place. Shared values and traditions, not practiced, become history, and we must not let that happen. What else? Well, with great fanfare and celebration, we will formally open the Mary Togler Fine Arts Center to our community and to our Commonwealth, and to the enrichment of our students and faculty. We must rebuild our staff, fill open positions, and better compensate our staff, especially our classified and hourly colleagues. We have too many vacant positions on this campus, and I know that means that too many people are carrying too heavy a load to keep our programs and services robust. What else? We will also advance our thinking and early planning of 2 capital projects. Yes, 2 more capital projects. The first is a successor building to old C&U SunTrust at the corner of Warwick and Hayden Boulevards. This building needs to be replaced. Yes? And we need to get our colleagues in more congenial surroundings. We will move forward, and we'll also seriously consider building that structure in the heart of our campus rather than on our perimeter. We must also plan a new science facility, now called Leader 2, to house expanded facilities for the College of Natural and Behavioral Sciences, including the departments of physics, computer science and engineering, and mathematics, and our programs in kinesiology, neuroscience, and environmental studies. We must reclaim our position on the admissions landscape as we once again bring prospective students and their families to our campus, where they can encounter your warm welcome, where they can meet and be inspired by our amazing faculty, where they can fully experience the beauty of this place, where they can experience the culture of this community and fall in love with Christopher Newport. We'll bring back our freshman class. We'll raise those numbers to 1,200 or more students every year and maintain, for sure, the academic profile for which Christopher Newport is now so well respected. We'll also use the powerful draw of the Ferguson and the Togler Centers to reach more of the Commonwealth's gifted young artists, attracting that talent here to bring our stages, our performance halls, our gallery spaces to life in exciting new ways. We'll also celebrate our 60th anniversary year. The youngest public college and university in Virginia is growing older. We will engage alumni and the entire Christopher Newport community in a year of extraordinary events and programs, telling our story more boldly and more broadly in new and compelling ways, leveraging the momentum of this anniversary year to increase fundraising and expand public awareness of this incredible place. We'll also raise at least $6 million, higher than any year since we completed our comprehensive campaign, to empower the efforts of our faculty, our staff, and our students. Our study abroad program will regain its momentum, its scope of opportunities, to ensure that our captains have the chance to engage the world firsthand. We'll continue implementing the university's diversity, equity, and inclusion plan, leading with a new LinkedIn Learning training video, and we'll celebrate new ways to ensure that ours is a community that lives into the promise of inclusive excellence. We'll rekindle the servant heart to ensure that it will have more fire than ever before. Beginning tomorrow, with day 1 of service, every freshman for the first time, and many, many faculty and staff will go out into the communities of Hampton Roads to experience life beyond this campus and discover ways to make a difference. We will ensure that participation in the Commonwealth's Tech Talent Investment Program remains strong and successful as we graduate students in computer science, computer engineering, and cybersecurity. As our student athletes again compete, as they take fields and courts, we'll support their march to victory with renovated facilities and resources to help them take full advantage of the competitive experience afforded by our new and exciting coast-to-coast conference. And finally, my friends, hear this. We will continue to lift up the life of significance as the hallmark of the Christopher Newport experience, reminding our students and the world of what true leadership and honor and service mean, and what true leadership, honor, and service look like. Through our rigorous and rewarding liberal arts and sciences and business programs, through the core curriculum we require of all of our students, the President's leadership and leadership in American Studies programs, the expanded reach of the Wassam Center, through an impressive array of speakers that visit our campus, through thousands of hours of community service, and through each of us, the lessons that we teach, the lives that we lead on this campus and as a university every day. We will model the life of significance. We'll be the place that reminds our world that true leadership takes minds and hearts, vision and values, service and courage, and strength and honor. Go Captains! Go Captains! Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.